let's see what we can do here. Let's share screen. Hopefully you can all see that. I need to go into light mode because that's going to be easier for you to see. And bump up the size a little bit. All right, everybody can see that, I hope.
Yes, we can see it. Jeff, you're recording this class, correct?
I am recording it.
Okay, perfect. I had a couple of agents call me and ask, and I told them I was pretty sure you were.
I think so. Wonder where I find out. Oh yeah, so it's to pause the recording, so I must be recording. So yep, we're recording. We'll send this out. Make sure everybody gets a copy of it. Before we start with the ChatGPT stuff, let me drag this over. So agent appreciation, guys. Our awards ceremony, our awards whatever event is going to be the 31st. That's a Monday at 9:30 a.m. is when we start. From 9:30 to 10 is get there and eat. Enjoy the good breakfast that we're going to have catered in from Cracker Barrel. So it should be really good. And then we'll have vendors there, just like last year. You can go around and get your stamps, and we'll have prizes that we give out. So it should be a good time. So make sure you get there around 9:30 so you've got enough time to do that. And then we'll start the actual awards part of it somewhere around 10 o'clock. And if I can get Dawn to turn off again, it won't be super long this year. We'll try and keep it
I
down.
was up. I'm off.
I know. Are you going to be off during awards?
Oh, no, I'm not.
Yeah, I didn't think so. So that's the real question is if I can keep it short. We got a bunch of feedback we wanted
Oh,
to
that's what you're saying. Turn me off during awards. No.
Yeah. So but I'll get him a fan this year so that he's not totally drenched and soaked. We'll see if we can keep him cool and happy and singing and dancing and all those kind of things. So it should be a good time. So hopefully you enjoy that. All right, before I get into the stuff that I've got to close my door real fast. But anybody have questions that you want about ChatGPT before I get into what I've got?
Hey, Jeff, I got a quick question for you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, recently I'm not a tech guy, but recently, my brother's been messing with the X1, Elon's, and, apparently he's more of a tech guy than I am. He's pretty impressed. Have you had any experience with that one, or has it always been the ChatGPT?
I've
Or
used
is
a
there
number of different ones. I've used Grok, I've used Perplexity, and a few others here and there. I dabble with them. Each of them has their own different strengths, and it depends on to get kind of technical, it depends on how they've been trained, their large language model, their LML. And so it really depends on, what you're using it for as to which one's better. For the most part, if you're not getting super deep, it doesn't matter which one you use. Gemini's been really good. That's the one that you see pop up in Google searches at the top and kind of summarize things for you. So as far as your model, it's not super important unless you've got something specific and you want to go to a model that uses that specific thing.
Isn't that Google's form of Chat GPT?
Yeah, Google's
Gemini?
AI is Gemini. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Bard. They've got
Right.
Bard out there as well. So they've got a couple of different ones. And again, every model kind of has their own thing as far as what they do better than another model. But I wouldn't necessarily say that just pick one that you like, because for the most part, no matter what you pick is going to be good enough for what you're going to use it for, unless you're really going to dive deep and do something super specific.
Yeah. So Jeff,
It's all month to month, right?
Yeah. Lots of them are free. So.
Yeah, I'm using the free Chat GPT, and just last night I had an agent call and they needed a release of liability letter because they were paying a seller forgot to put something on their seller's disclosures, and so they negotiated $1,500 that they were paying to the buyer. They wanted a release of liability letter. I went into Chat GPT and I told them what I wanted, and they created a beautiful letter that was perfect. It was even better than I could say it. So yeah, I
Wow.
love just even the free version.
Isn't it limited on like how many times you can use it with the free version?
It depends on what you're doing. So free versions can limit you either to the model that they use. So ChatGPT, for example, has a 3.5, a 3 series, an O3, an O1, a 4, a 4.5. But there's different models and different complexities and different things that they do. Usually the free version is the previous year's model, right? To give you some idea of what it is. It's like buying a car that's 1 year old, and so you're using an older model. Still does a great job for the most part.
So you're not
Hey,
limited on
Jeff.
how many times you can use it. You're just limited on which model they're going to let you use
For the
without
most
paying
part,
for it.
there are some AI tools out there that limit you the number of queries that you can have. Somebody else have
Jeff.
a question? Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna share my hack. My hack there is because a lot of times I also max out the free version of GPT for a day, but I have two email addresses. So I set up those two email addresses. So if the other one is gone, then I go to the next one that has a different email address, and that one will also have the same amount that you can use for the free one. And
Yeah.
I also discovered Claude.ai.
Odd is great. Perplexity is great. Yep.
Yeah. So
You are,
that's a hack
you are
that I do.
sneaky, Ellen. You're sneaky. I have 5 email addresses, so I could get 5 of them.
Yeah.
And
You
using a different
definitely
model,
could.
like going over to Claude or over to Bard or over to Gemini instead, will get you around a lot of the limits as well. But again, you're usually limited to an older model when you're using the free version. It's not necessarily bad. For the most part, you can get
No,
rid
it's
of
not.
results.
No,
So
definitely.
yeah. If you're going to use it a lot, like I do, paying the $20 or whatever a month is totally worth it to get the extra. So it's up to you on how you use the models and what's going to work for you.
And there's
So
several
it's only 20
users you
bucks a
can do
month
for the
for
paid
the
version too.
Sorry, two people talking,
Oh,
Ellen, and then
sorry.
I'll answer Jeremy's.
I was gonna say if you end up, like you can team up with people as well. Like at my family, I have two sons that share account because you can have multiple users for the paid version too as well.
Sure. And Jeremy, yeah, $20 for ChatGPT. Other models have different pricing. There are pro plans, for example, for ChatGPT that's $200 a month if you're really seriously into it, but probably not needed for any agent that's doing real estate. Sharing
Yeah.
plans does work. It's a good idea. The problem is that if you have personal things in there, you may not want to share that with your whole family, right? So it just kind of depends on what you've got in your ChatGPT, because it does keep a whole history. It's one of the things to remember. Part of this deal is whatever you upload or give or put into ChatGPT, unless you're specifically excluding it from its memory, it will put into its training model and it will have that there forever to look at and to share with other people even. So just be aware of that. So.
That's actually one of the benefits that I'm looking at for using that, is because there's more benefit to customizing something than just coming up with general information like you would get on Google. Two more questions on that real quick. Number one is ChatGPT is operable from your phone, not just your computer. Is that correct?
Yes, and I use it in conversation mode all the time. I'll actually put it in voice mode and it will talk back to you and you can have a full conversation.
Hey, Jeff, can I just ask a quick question? Aren't you getting into isn't the purpose of this a training for the questions that are being asked? So can we, for the purpose of training this, doing this as a training mechanism, can we save the questions till later? Can I just ask that? Because I've got something else to be on.
That's way too hard of a question, Stephanie.
I thank you.
Okay. Yeah. Jeremy, save your second question. I'll go into the use cases. We'll get into those and then we'll get to question and answer at the end because Stephanie's apparently got to leave. All right. So first, I've got a number of use case scenarios and hopefully I'll get through a bunch of them, but it's going to depend on how many questions you have on each or how much information you want to see on each. Just know that this is mostly a text-based service. You're not going to see a lot of graphics and those kind of things. I will say that, so for example, each day I have ChatGPT do a stock analysis for me, and I don't know why it won't load that one. Oh, there it is. And so each day it comes in and you can see that it'll give me a graph on a daily basis of the stock, Fathom stock, and where it was. It gives me the trading volume, the budget, the number of shares sold on insider trading and those kind of things. I also have it do a real estate news summary. And so every day I get a real estate news summary, both national news articles and any Utah news articles that come out within the past 24 hours so that I can keep up on that. So that's something that you can use ChatGPT for as far as just regular real estate information. Let's go into our first use case scenario. And the first use case is one that I think everybody knows about, and that's property descriptions, right? And so if I were to have a property that I'm listing and I get to that property descriptions area, this is by far the most hated part of listing a property. Like I don't mind any other part, but writing those property descriptions for me is an absolute terrible, awful experience. I've always hated it. I've thought they were stupid. I can't stand writing them, and I have no creativity. So I'm really bad at them. And so what I found is that I can give it a prompt like this. You're a real estate marketing expert with over 30 years of experience. Give me a property description for the attached property. And so I'll actually go in and I'll take an MLS printout, right? So I'll show you the printout that I'm giving it. It's this printout. I just took a full report. This is my house. So I just take a full report like this and I upload it into ChatGPT. And then I say, give me a property description for this attached property. Your goal is to entice potential buyers to make an appointment to see the home. Keep the description to one paragraph and no more than, I don't know why I didn't put the number of characters in here, 400 characters. Okay. And then I let it run. And it looks at, it actually goes through and it reads my PDF, and it's being really slow. I don't know if it's my internet or what. See if it'll come up with it. Apparently not. We'll try it again. All right, that's better. So nestled in the prestigious Mystic Cove neighborhood, the stunning executive home offers the perfect blend of luxury and comfort, featuring a spacious 5,400 square foot layout with 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, blah, 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 goes through the whole thing. Schedule your private tour today. So it does a really good job. Now, if you're like me and you've read hundreds of these property descriptions, this sounds very ChatGPT robotic. Like you could tell that this came from ChatGPT. So here's a tip for you on anything that you use. I go in and I say, look, this was a level 1 response. Give me level 3. And so it will actually go back now and be better at what it's doing. It will understand that it needs to be better, right? So now it goes through and it talks about the craftsmanship, the rich hardwood floors, the chef's kitchen, the mother-in-law apartment, like all of that is now put in there. And so anything that you get that seems really basic, if you tell it, hey, look, that was a really nice try, but just try again and be better at what you're doing, it will actually do that.
Hey, Jeff.
Yeah.
Jeff, it's Eric. I missed how you uploaded that MLS.
You can't see it, but I simply drag and drop it. So I've got it off screen, and I simply drag and drop it right on, and it will let me upload anything, a picture, a PDF, an Excel spreadsheet, which I'll do in a little bit. And so that allows me to add that to the conversation, allows ChatGPT to see those things.
Okay, thank you.
Now, part of the fun that you can do with this, so you can have it do whatever writing style you want. And I had ChatGPT tell me about some crazy things that real estate agents have done. And one of the things that is becoming popular apparently is to have it, let's see if I can just have it do it. Write it in Dr. Seuss language, right? And so it will go through, oh, what a home, what a sight to behold, a treasure, a gem, a story untold. with 5 grand bedrooms and bathrooms, 4. This house has surprises and so much more. And it goes through, and the whole thing is now in Dr. Seuss language, right? And apparently this is like something that's trending now in property descriptions. But if you were to put something like this on the MLS, I guarantee you it would garner some shares from people that wouldn't normally share it out to others, right? So a great way
That's
to get some
awesome.
extra eyes on it.
Can you make it write it in like a Beatles song?
You can. I bet you.
Write it like a Beatles song. There you go. So Don, now all you have to do is get your recorder out and sing it, and it will go through, and you'll have an amazing.
I love it. I
you
love
got
it.
a bridge and everything, so you got the whole thing written out there for you. Okay, so that's a very basic one. That's something that I think you know, every real estate agent knows, that you can go in and get your property descriptions, but be creative with it. Figure out ways to really give it some flair, that you might get some extra shares and some extra things going for you. All right. One of the other things that I hate about listings is market updates. So every Tuesday, I update all of my sellers with a market update on where their property sits, how many other properties have sold, what the market trends are, what my recommendations are, and those kind of things. And just in the past couple of weeks, I've actually started to use ChatGPT to do this. And what I've done is I'll go into the MLS and I'll search for all of the solds, under contracts, and active properties in the price range in the areas that I think that a buyer would buy in. So for example, let me see if I can pull this one up. I've got a listing in Spanish Forks. It's priced at $515, and I listed that, I went in and searched for Springville, Salem, and Spanish Fork between 480 and 550. All of the properties in there that were active, under contract, or sold, and downloaded that information into this spreadsheet. So I've got 63 properties here, and it's got all of the information about those 63 properties in this spreadsheet. Okay. And then I took, and I'll show you, because it took ChatGPT a while to sort through this and think about it. I took and gave it this request, which is, you're a real estate agent with over 30 years experience, specifically working with sellers and not buyers. You're selling the property with MLS ID and the uploaded spreadsheet. Create a market update for the property, citing trends, market position, how many properties have received contracts in the past 2 weeks, how many have sold in the past 2 weeks, any market trends that you can see in the data, any market trends in the greater market that would affect the saleability of the home, and blah, 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 right? And so it went through and actually created this for me. I didn't do any of this. It looked at the underlying data. It told me that 33 properties have gone under contract in the last 2 weeks. 9 properties have closed. Average market price is 517. Average or list price is 17. Average sold price is 520. Average price per square foot is 239. Average days on market is 49. Right. And then it told me where I'm positioned in there. It told me about the market analysis. So your home is priced above the market average on per square foot basis. And I told it I had had no showings in the past 15 days. And so it said, you know, this suggests that your current pricing and marketing or your buyer demand isn't attracting the attention. And then it gives me number 5, the next steps. Maybe consider a price reduction, maybe increase the marketing, maybe evaluate the staging or some minor updates to make the home stand out, right? And I didn't have to do any of this. And I pretty much just literally copied and pasted this in, made some adjustments to make it sound like me, and sent this over to my seller. And they have a great outline of where their home has been positioned for the past 2 weeks. And all I had to do was go in and create the spreadsheet in the MLS. So an easy way for you to do market updates for that. And honestly, if you wanted to look at any home that you're thinking about listing or a home that you're thinking about buying, you can do the exact same thing for it, for any market data that you want. ChatGPT will give you a great idea of where it stands as far as the pricing in that market. So good way to use it for that.
So Jeff, did you say you created a spreadsheet and then you dragged and dropped it into your ChatGPT?
I did, yeah. So you can see right up here, and it doesn't show it, but this Rawlings data 3.4 is actually my spreadsheet that I put in there for it. Right?
Awesome.
And the first one that I put in, for some reason, it wouldn't take it. And so I resaved it, and then it was able to look at it and sort through all of that data that I showed you. See if it's still up here. So it sorted through all of this, right? All of this stuff that I uploaded to it, it sorted through it. It took it about 5 minutes to give me that report, but it would have taken me probably at least an hour to sort through all of that information and get it all gathered together, instead of the 5 minutes that it took ChatGPT to do the exact same thing.
Jeff,
So-
did ChatGPT create that spreadsheet? You didn't physically type all that in, did you?
Yes, line by line, cell by
Yeah.
cell. I
So
typed in each one.
ChatGPT also created the spreadsheet that you then pulled into ChatGPT?
No. So here's how you create the spreadsheet. You'll go
Yeah,
into your
spreadsheet.
search, a residential full search, and I'll make this very easy just for showing you what we're looking at. So let's look at actives between 480 and 515 in Orem. Whoops. Oh, it did take Orem, it just doesn't show it. So I've got 9. I view the results, and you can see that it's got the basics. But if you select them all, right, and then you'll do a report under reports, you'll go in and export. So you're doing an export report in the MLS. Okay. And that pops up a box that says, how do you want your data? First, you got to say, I'm not a robot. And then you have to say, how do we want your data? And I always just do standard data, and I do an Excel spreadsheet, this bottom one, and click download. And that will create that spreadsheet that I just showed you for whichever properties you have. I think you're limited to 200 is the max. I can't remember. I think 200 or 2000. I can't remember which. Is the
Jeff,
max number of properties.
going back to that, when it said that you had the option of standard data versus custom data, does that mean you can edit the fields to simplify what's being converted to that Excel spreadsheet?
Yes, and so
custom
in order
data?
to do that, you have to create a custom report, and that's a topic for another day. But if you have a custom report, so for example, I have one that is just sold versus list prices, or just agents working in that area, and all it does is pull the agents only, right? And so you can have different reports for each different custom set of data that you want to pull. If you do just standard data, then it pulls everything for that listing, right? And when I'm doing market trends and those kind of things, that's what I want, because I want ChatGPT to look at everything that it could possibly look at in order to make its determination. Okay, so hopefully that helps understand where we got that data from and how we got to ChatGPT. We pulled it in, ChatGPT looked at it, and then it made its analysis of everything there. I just took a look quickly at it to make sure that it wasn't making stuff up and it was actually on target with what it needed to do. Okay. All right, next fun use case scenario. Let's do a new one. Is this. A lot of people, so when you go into, and Don just taught this actually, when you go into IntelliAgent, let me just show you if my IntelliAgent is logged in. When you go into IntelliAgent, there are campaigns here, and those campaigns can be sent out as drip campaigns to your buyers or sellers, so that they can get emails from you on a regular basis without you having to do anything. Now, the campaigns that are in here, there's basically one seller campaign, there's one buyer campaign, there's a post-close, and then some monthly campaigns, right? And so they're very basic. In my opinion, they're not very attractive. And honestly, if you really want to use a campaign, you should update it and make it look better. But that's a very daunting task for a lot of people. And that's where ChatGPT comes in, right? So what I've done is, and this was a very basic prompt, and you can kind of give that to whatever you want. give it some extra flair, what you actually want it to be doing. This one says you're a marketing and real estate professional with over 30 years of experience. And I should tell you that for the most part, when you're prompting ChatGPT, you should tell it what role it has, and you should stroke its ego for lack of better words. You want it to think that it's amazing at one particular thing, right? And so tell it that it has over 30 years of experience, or it's a fantastic sales agent, or whatever you want to tell it. It will give you better answers than if you just put something in, right? And so you're a real estate agent with 30 years of experience. Give me a 14-touch email drip campaign that will move a cold buyer lead to a converted client. Okay.
That is so freaking cool.
So I run that, and here you go. Here's your 14-touch campaign, right? You can just simply copy and paste these into your CRM. You can add graphics to them, and you're good to go, right? So this first one, I saw you were checking out homes. I wanted to introduce myself. I'm a real estate pro with X number of years of experience. No pressure, just here to help. This is what I offer. And then number 2, hey, buying a home is exciting. Did you know many buyers overpay simply because they don't know how to negotiate? Here's how to avoid that. Get pre-approved, know your market, work with an agent. Okay, so it will go through, and it's still going. I'm going to stop it, but it will go through and give you 14 weeks or however many touches you decide, right? This is a 14-touch campaign. If you wanted to do like a 42-touch, which is what most people recommend, a 42-touch campaign for a cold buyer, this is a great way to do an email campaign for that. The other thing that you can do if you have a CRM that supports it is you can do an intermixed campaign with both emails and texts. And so you'll tell it to do both emails and text, and you can do a campaign that will outline that. And then you can upload those into your CRM. Questions on that one?
Yeah. While you're talking about this, by the way, this coming Friday in our Fathom Learning Lab at the Union Park office, I'm doing the same thing that I did on Monday in the Learning Lab, which, like Jeff said, we worked on campaigns and broadcasts. So anybody who wants to join us this coming Friday from 11 until 12:30, we'll be working on campaigns and broadcasts.
Will
And
Eric be there for you to abuse?
Who?
Will Eric be there for Don to abuse?
Yes, Eric will be there, ready for all the abuse he can get.
Hey, those that were in class on Monday, Eric is the only one that did his assignment. I got his video broadcast yesterday from him, and it was great, Eric. Good job.
Awesome.
Well, thank you. That's not even abusive. I appreciate it.
All right, next one, kind of going off of that same theme, is for social media, right? So I put in, hey, you're an expert in social media marketer with 30 years of experience. Give me a campaign for the month of March of posts that I can make on Instagram to engage possible clients. This should be a mix of both personal and professional posts, right? And so this will actually go through and now tell me exactly what I should post during the month of March in order to engage my clients. And this says that I should have 3 to 4 posts a week to maintain consistency, but not overwhelm my audience. So March 1st, do a personal post. Throw back your first ever real estate transaction. Your caption could say, let's take a trip down memory lane. My first real estate deal taught me whatever. Who else remembers their first job or business deal? Share your first stories. Hashtag Flashback Friday, right? March 4th, do a quick video or a carousel post on current Utah market trends with a caption. March 6th, post 2 listings side by side. Which home would you rather live in? March 8th, do a story. You doing some real estate related preview home stuff. Day in the life of a real estate broker, right? And it will go through and it gives me, it's almost done, the whole month of March, what I should post, exactly what picture I should take. Oh, that timed out. My network's bad at the office. But it will tell you exactly what to do, what to post, what I should be posting a picture of, or what video I should be taking. I don't have to think. I can just print this out And now I know every time it comes to this, I just post this on Instagram and I'm good to go. It's already got everything here for me to do, including the captions. So if you're not sure how to keep your social media up, there's a great social media manager for you.
Does it have a graphic with it too? Is that what I'm seeing?
It doesn't. It puts in the emojis.
Emojis, but not graphics.
Yeah, but it won't. It'll tell you up here the picture. So it'll say post a meme with real estate stress, funny closings or whatever. Or it'll say post before and after staging transformation pictures, but it won't actually put those in for you. Okay, so you've got to find your own pictures or take your own, which is better anyhow. You want to put stuff that is actually related to you.
Yeah, can it pull some for you though, if you ask it to?
It won't pull from your personal library yet, so it doesn't have access to do that. There are tools that it could make those different designs or graphics for you, but those are different tools. ChatGPT has some, but they're not great graphics. I've used graphics in ChatGPT and they're not amazing. So something like Midjourney is better if you're trying to create graphics. All right, let's go to the next one. The next one is that you can use this to review any document, contract that you may want and get some information out of it. So for example, let's see if I have it here. I guess I don't, but this is an easy one. So review this title report and tell me what I need to review with my client, right? And so all I have to do is take my title report that I just got from Title, drag and drop that in there and upload it. And I let ChatGPT take a look at it.
Can it do that with CC&Rs?
You could do that with CC&Rs, yes. All 150 pages of the CC&Rs, it will read through those and you can say, hey, based on the CC&Rs, can I have purple flowers, right? And it will actually look and tell you whether that's true or not, right? And so on this title report, it says, hey, the current owner is this. These are the purchase details. Here's what needs to happen before closing. Here's some possible problems that you might run up against. So property taxes are accruing. 2024 property taxes were paid. And it says this property might be subject to local improvement or service district charges for Elk Ridge City. So you might want to check with them on a special assessment, right? A lot of times we think, well, nobody has a special assessment. In this case, this one might, so it might be worth it. There are no water rights, chain of title, and next steps, confirm no hidden liens or loans, check for easements and restrictions, verify tax assessment, ensure water rights, and sign the documents, right? So this is not a replacement for your escrow officer. You'll still need them, especially if things pop up here that you're not sure what they are. Make sure and do that. But for example, we all receive those contracts when we've got a listing from somebody that's just this totally off base, weird fix and flip, assumable contract that those people try and throw at us. If you want to know if it's a legit contract or what the pitfalls may be, you can upload it here. It'll take a look at it. If you want to upload a builder contract here and say, hey, what are the pitfalls that I need to warn my buyer about? You can do that, right? So any document that you're really not sure what's in it or need just a summary of, or you need it to be dumbed down to my level, that's what I use it for a lot is, hey, I don't understand any of this. Just tell me in fifth grader language what it is that I should know about this. And it will go ahead and do that, right?
Jeff, do you need to tell it what to look for, or does it already have that back end information? Like, does it know, do you need to say, look for these particular things in a title report or the CC&Rs, as I mentioned?
No, if you don't give it any guidance, you can see the only thing that I told it was to review it and tell me what I need to share with my client. I didn't tell it anything else, right? And it went through and figured out what it thinks I should know. Now, if there are particular things that you want it to look for, you would want to specify anything that you absolutely want it to look for. The more details and the more questions that you ask it, the better. But if you just want a general overview, you can just say, give me a general overview of what I really need to know about this.
So Jeff, at the bottom, can you scroll down to the very bottom of it again? Because it does say, would you like me to draft a client-friendly summary email for you? So if you say, what do you do? If you say yes, does it create it for you?
Yes, it does.
Yes, it does.
I don't know who Chad is.
Chad is on the,
He must be on the,
he's on the commitment for title insurance.
yeah, there you go. He must be the buyer.
Yeah, he is. That's awesome.
So you can literally just copy and paste this into your client.
You guys, how impressive is that to your clients? They think
This
you
is
spent,
super impressive.
yeah, they think that you've been up all night reading this report.
No, they know better. They know everybody's doing ChatGPT.
That's the voice of my evil spirit on my right shoulder. Oh, it's Clue.
I was gonna say your voice has changed, Don. Wow. But yeah, I mean, honestly, what I have done in the past is I attach the title report and I send it over to my client with an email that says, hey, this is a legal document. You might want to check this with your escrow officer to see if there's any major problems here. And instead, I can say, hey, look at all of this stuff. This is things you may want to be concerned about. Also, please check with your escrow officer, right? This just adds a whole new layer of professionalism to what you're giving when you send that over for them. So yeah, easily copy and paste email right there. All right, next one's a fun one. So whoops, wrong button. So for me, I get asked this question all the time. And Jeremy, I think, has asked me this question like 40 times. So this is specifically for Jeremy. Give me a list of flyers, marketing, and documents that I should put in a pre-listing package. Okay, and I'm not giving it any extra information. I could if I wanted, but I'm not giving it anything extra. And I'm just telling it, give me everything that I'm going to put together a pre-listing package. What should be included in that, right? And so it now goes through and says, hey, you need a cover letter, you need an about me page, a testimonials, a marketing plan, a unique value proposition, step-by-step home selling guide, what to expect at the listing appointment. So you can see it goes through each section that you should have specific things for, okay? So that you've got that all laid out there. So in addition to this, the more fun part is, great, I've got this list and now I've got to create all these things. How in the world am I going to create all these things, right? And so it's, I mean, it's as easy as saying, I need help with a step-by-step home selling guide. Please create one. That I can download. And so it will actually go through, it creates, I have an answer in chat so you can see it. Oh, it didn't do it.
Jeff, you are nice. You say please to ChatGPT.
I
I
know,
need to
I always
start
say
saying
please.
please.
I would say please. I don't know why I always say please.
Jeff, while you're doing that,
Yeah.
you know, there is a PowerPoint that Fathom has in the marketing center that was very similar to what this just created. That all it is a framework for you to add all the things that you want to it. They have a buyer's presentation and a listing presentation, and they're actually pretty good. But all it is a shell with each section like it showed here. And then you can add graphics, or you can add your business plan or your marketing things that you're doing and everything, and you can do it in either a PowerPoint. So if you go to your client's home, you can put it on your iPad or your tablet or whatever, or even on your phone, and scroll right through it. And besides that, you can also attach to it some of the little booklets that we have in the marketing center. There's a lot of booklets that cover a lot of the things that this just brought out.
And it just did it all and then didn't keep it for some reason. I think it must be the internet here. But in any case, usually it creates a guide, an actual PDF that you can download. And to Don's point, one of the things that you can do is you can go take those listing PDFs or PowerPoints. You can actually upload it here and say, hey, I want to improve this one slide. What would you suggest that I do? Or what would you add to this to make it better? Right? And it can actually improve it for you and recreate that slide so that it's better for what your personal situation is. So that's another fun one to do. All right. One of my, there's a ton here. So it can help with CMAs. I can literally upload. So let's do a CMA real fast. Actually, I'll show you the CMA instead because this one takes a little bit of time. This one right here. So I went and uploaded the subject property. I uploaded the comparable property. So I still had to do the work. I had to find the subject property. I had to find the comparable properties. And then I said, I need a CMA for the subject property based on comparable properties and the current market trends. So it took those, it now looked at each one and laid them out and compiled the details for me. And then I said, hey, the subject property is slightly dated and needs some flooring replaced. Give me pricing for the subject property on the current property. It came out and said, hey, based on that, I would say it's worth $685, right? Then I asked for a more detailed breakdown. It went through and did a price per square foot, maximum, minimum, condition adjustment, a final adjustment on price. Estimated low market value would be 683. Estimated high value would be 747. Adjusted market value would be 685. Right. So that was its thinking as it went through and made those adjustments. Now, obviously, I would want to take this back and double check and make sure that that's actually correct information based on what I know about the market. Based on what I knew about the market in this home, that was actually really accurate. Right. And I didn't have to do anything other than find the subject and comparable properties. Right. So very easy to help you with some CMAs. But please make sure that you go back and check that it's accurate information, and that's really where you want to price. Don't just plug this in here and ChatGPT spits out 685 and it's really worth 725. Okay, make sure you're giving accurate information. All right, probably the last one we're going to do.
Jeff, I just have a question about the comparables. What document was that in? Did you export that as well from the MLS?
I will show you what I uploaded. So I uploaded a subject property. So this was the subject property, an old sold sheet. So just an agent full report, right, of the subject property. That way it can look at the square footage, beds, baths, garages, all that kind of thing, right? So ChatGPT can look at that. And then I uploaded comparables. So I just took the comparables that I wanted and I did an agent full report on those and uploaded those. And then ChatGPT can take a look at all of those and decide based on that what my actual.
But it can't see the photos of the inside of the house.
No,
if
it doesn't. It's not me. It doesn't walk through a house, right? It doesn't know.
But you could upload the photos.
I guess, yeah. I mean, I guess you could download all of the photos from each of the individual ones and upload those and let them take a look and see if it could do it. I'm not sure. I've never run GPT against photos to say which one's better. I don't know if it has that level of reasoning ability at this point or not.
Jeff, I would probably assert that it also depends on the quality of the pictures being taken, if it's professional photography versus someone on their camera. So it doesn't sound like that would be something it could do.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if I go and take my iPhone pictures, I immediately decrease the value of the home, right? So there's that. All right, let me do the last one because this is kind of a fun one and something that I'm sure you can find a lot of creative uses for. I'll paste it in because it's fairly long. We're going to role play and have a back and forth conversation. I will role play. I will take the role of the homeowner. And I just told you that I don't want to use you because I think I can sell for more and keep more of my money by not paying a commission. You're an experienced real estate agent who must overcome that objection. Give me your question and answers in conversational style and allow me to give the responses for the seller. So this is a script training, right? This is your ability to actually have a conversation about whatever objection, and you can play the agent and they can play the owner, or vice versa. In this case, I'm going to play the homeowner. And we'll see if my internet can actually handle it. I don't know what the deal is today. Try it again. All right, let's do this. So I said, hey, I don't think I want to pay a commission. And ChatGPT says, I totally get it. You want to walk away with as much money as possible. Quick question. How did you come up with your price? Well, the house down the street sold for $550, and my house is way better than theirs. Well, that's typical what you would hear from a for sale by owner, right? And so then the agent says, so their house sold for $550, so you think yours is worth more. Out of curiosity, do you know if that $550 was their list price, or was it their actual final sales price after negotiations, inspections, and potential concessions? I don't know. I think it was their original list price. Yeah, that happens a lot. People remember the list price, but not necessarily what it actually sold for. I can pull up their real numbers, but let me ask, if their final sales price ended up, say, $530 after negotiation and closing costs and buyer's concession, would that change how you're feeling about your pricing strategy? Not really. I still want $625 because my home is awesome.
Boy, they're a tough nut, aren't they?
Hey, I love the confidence, and obviously you should feel that way about your home, but let's be real, buyers don't care how awesome you think it is. I probably wouldn't use that script. I probably wouldn't say buyers don't care how awesome you think it is. But anyhow, they care about how it compares to other options and what the market says. If buyers aren't willing to pay $625, what's the plan? Are you hoping to drop the price later? Are you willing to sit down? And so I can go through and I can just continue to role play with this back and forth. I can put in any objection that I want and work through this. Now this could work, you know, you get you're a listing agent and you get repairs from the buyer's agent, and how are you going to negotiate those? You get a low appraisal that comes in, how are you going to negotiate that? You can play this out before you ever have to respond to anybody and kind of get an idea of what it may think about those particular things. Right.
Did you use the thumbs up and thumbs down with regard to how you feel like they articulated your message?
As far as on this?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never used these response buttons. I just continue to type to it. So for me, I'm not big into training it, but if you want to train your model, because this learns from you and how you like things and what you like it to do, then you should use the up and down for the responses and how well you like them. Okay. All right, guys.
Jeff, can you train it with the different folders? I know there is different folders you can have for different projects. So does it learn specific to the project that you're trying to do, so that for one project you could be an expert, you can have it be an expert of XYZ, and for another project you can have it be an expert of APC?
You can. So for example, you can see when I go to any of these folders, this is my class that I'm teaching today. I put everything in here. I could add specific instructions to it. So instead of having to type in every time I add something to this folder that you're a real estate agent with 30 years of experience, I could just put that in here, right? Or I could put in, I always want you to respond in Dr. Seuss language, right? I could put that here, whatever instructions I want. Or if I want particular files added to just this folder, I could do that as well. And so you can train each of your individual folders that you make in ChatGPT based on individual instructions or files.
Thank you.
right, guys, hopefully that gives you some great ideas. So just be really creative. One of the things that I actually learned to use just recently is, hey, what don't I know that you as ChatGPT, what don't I know that you can do that I should be doing, right? And I simply ask ChatGPT that, and it will tell me things that I can do either professionally or in personal life with ChatGPT. Give me models and ways that I can use it that I've never thought of before. And so that's one way to get some ideas about how to use it. But hopefully this has piqued your interest and giving you some ideas that you can actually take back now and put into your business and save you some time in what you're doing and add some professionalism as well. What questions do you have? What can I answer for you?
I was going to ask you really quickly, Jeff. You've obviously gone down the rabbit hole on multiple different programs, and I want to first thank you for that, because our time is better spent trying to get clients, not trying to figure out the best. In your opinion, is this the best option of all of those programs that have been mentioned in the early part of the training?
No, not necessarily. In fact, they kind of leapfrog over each other from time to time. Perplexity is becoming more and more one that I prefer to use. It searches the web better, and it does a little bit better on deep research topics for me.
Why are you training this one then today? I'm just out of curiosity.
Because the majority of people know ChatGPT. It is the Google of AI. Most people know what it is, and this is where most people start, is with ChatGPT. And so I didn't really want to get into the weeds of which tool is better or which one does what. Instead, just give you a general overview. Any of the tools that you use will do a really good job with all of the things that I've shown you today, right? So you'll be great using any of them. Use the one that you prefer. In all honesty, I don't think that there is a true winner in this game yet. There's not a Google of search yet, right? So ChatGPT is the most known name, but there's a lot of really good tools still up and coming. And so I don't know who the true winner will be out of this. One thing I will say though is, don't ignore this, right? A lot of this is like the internet of 1999, right? People who said, oh, the internet's just something where you go on AOL and you like type back and forth to each other, right? ChatGPT, I think a lot of people are ignoring, just saying, hey, this is just a fad and it will go away. It's truly not. It's going to change the way that we live, and especially the way that we do business. So
can I add to that, Jeff? Can I add to what you just said?
Yep.
Because that same thing exactly happened when I got into real estate 35 years ago. Laptops were just coming out, computers were just coming out, cell phones were just coming out. And I was one of the first in my office to get a laptop computer. And the top 5 agents in my office, top 5 agents that I took all the crap that they didn't want and sold their stuff. But the top 5 agents, they told me, Don, you're wasting your time. The internet's a fad. It's going to go away. And I told them, you guys, I don't think so. This is pretty cool. You really should jump on and learn this. Now I'm not going to do it. They were old school. They refused to jump on and learn what was up and coming. And true story, 3 years later, all 5 of them were out of the business. They just couldn't keep up with what everybody else was doing.
Evolve or die.
Yep.
Same was true with the MLS books. Nobody thought the MLS would be able to get away from the books.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you guys know Rhoda Ramsey? She was a real estate agent a long time ago. When fax machine came out, she couldn't operate it, so she said time to quit.
Yeah. Hey, my first sales meeting with Mansell and Associates, the first company I went to work for. Yeah, Brad Mortensen stood up in our first sales meeting. He says, well, all of you griped and complained that we didn't have one, so we finally got one, and nobody's using it, so we're going to get rid of it. He was talking about a fax machine, okay? So that's how far we've evolved in 35 years.
Yeah, don't ignore it, guys. If you ever need help figuring out how to use it or how to train it or best ways to use it or whatever, I'm always available, always happy to help. It's amazing what it can do.
Be sorry you said that.
No, I won't be sorry. I love helping on this stuff. So I'm happy to help you guys anytime. One of the most time consuming tasks that I've used it for this year If you're an Orem agent, you received an email from me at the start of the year that did a comparison between your 2023 year volume and your 2024 year volume. ChatGPT did all of that for me, including drafting the email. All I did was upload the 2 years worth of stats. It compared everybody's numbers. It spit it all out for me, told me what you did, what you could be doing better, like all of that stuff. You might think I did. I didn't do any of it, right? Including drafting the email. So if you guys are looking to have it do anything, like look at your most time intensive tasks that you're spending time and energy on. How can you incorporate this to take away the mundane tasks and get back to how you can serve your people? That's really what our business will always be. People are worried that AI is going to take our jobs. Our jobs as realtors will, I mean, knock on wood, I don't see them ever going away because it is such a person-based business. We are there to touch people's lives and help people through things and do things emotion-based that will never be taken over by a thinking computer, right? So just know that as long as you get back to what truly real estate is, you'll always be successful.
You've just sealed our fate. You realize that, Jeff. Thank you.
Yep, you're welcome. Any other questions, guys?
Jeff,
Thank
I
you,
was just
Jeff.
going to ask on the Grok versus the ChatGPT, what's the benefits to the Grok? It's kind of a Cliff Notes version. You don't have to go in depth.
Yeah, Grok right now, well, the big advantage is that it has total full access to X. And so that's the advantage that it has over the other models, is it has all the access to all the archives of X information. It's a new tool, and so it hasn't fully been through all of the vetting that needs to be done. And so there's a lot of things that need to be improved on it. But if you're looking specifically for what X has to offer and what has been loaded into X, searching X, looking for trends on X, having X posts and those kind of things, Grok is probably your best bet.
Can I ask one
Thanks.
more
Appreciate
question? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, Stephanie.
Sorry, Don, when we were in our last all hands meeting, or what was it, the training, there was a lady that there was an agent there that her husband worked for the sheriff's department, and she made mention of an increase in, I guess, security through ChatGPT. He saw an increase in, I don't know what, crime related activities. And I never got to the bottom of that, but have there been any data breaches or anything that we need to be concerned of from a security standpoint?
No, but I think, and I wasn't there, so I don't know, but my guess is that what they were talking about is the ability now to do what are called deep fakes. Basically, I can create a video that looks and sounds exactly like you, Stephanie, and I can make it do and say whatever I want, right? And so the potential there for fraud and scams is huge. We need to be really weary of the bad ways that AI is going to be used, especially in our business. So be ready for those kind of things to really hit hard.
Can we share those things as you guys see them in real time application? Okay.
Yeah, we'll definitely.
I've been a little
we
hesitant
see-
to start using it for that reason, because I don't understand the
Yeah.
vulnerabilities, I guess.
It's the same as the internet. That's what people said about the internet, you know, and you're absolutely right. There is some good that the internet can do, and there's some bad things that the internet can do. But guess what? It's my belief that the good far overshadows the negative. Okay, so I choose to, be involved and do things online and, move forward with the rest of the world. So that's kind of a choice you have to make, and just make sure that you're, doing the things that you need to do to make sure that you are, as protected as possible.
For sure. Okay.
And here's the
and I
thing,
think it was Rachel Harvey. I think it was Rachel Harvey that brought that up.
Yeah.
She was in
I
our
meant to
class.
reach out, and I didn't.
Her
because
husband. Her husband is he's actually a detective in Wasatch County, and he has brought down a lot of criminals, both cyber criminals and regular criminals. And she was talking about that, how, well, one of the latest things, of course, like Jeff said, is a ChatGPT or any AI can duplicate your voice. They can duplicate your image. and make it look like that it's you that's, you know, reaching out to people and whatnot. So that's why the wire fraud alert disclosure one day will turn into a cyber criminal alert disclosure.
Is there a way to, I guess, safeguard yourself against that happening, or do we just have to be so cool that someone would want to, you know?
Yeah, for the most part, you're not going to get duplicated unless you're like a celebrity or whatever, right? And so those deep fakes are not going to be very prevalent for most people.
Yeah.
That said, as far as how to protect yourself, there's not really any other way than just be yourself and let people know this is who I am. And if something comes out about you, just start to call them and say, this isn't me, right? We had an agent in Colorado who there was someone used a voice modifier to sound exactly like him in AI, had that AI call about 100 of his clients and say some really abusive and nasty things to those clients. And they started calling the agent calling them back and saying, why are you calling me and yelling all this stuff at me and hanging up on me? And he's like, it's not me. Right. And there was nothing he could do other than just start calling these people back and setting up text messages saying, hey, this is a fake. This isn't me. You know me well enough to know that I wouldn't do those kind of things.
I feel like, and sorry to go down the rabbit hole, but I feel like there was some comment made of not doing a voice to text to ChatGPT, to always type it in. And maybe that was, okay, sorry.
Yeah, you have that ability. You have the ability to go and do voice to text. That's not going to be vulnerable for you. People can find your voice in a number of ways, especially if you're on social media. And that's what I was going to say about your personal information. Don't be worried about personal information because we already know everything about you, Stephanie. There's nothing out there that is private anymore.
People can get your voice, Stephanie, just from calling your phone and listening to your voicemail message.
Yep.
So will ChatGPT swear like a sailor, like I have occasion to?
Yes. 100%.
It will pick up on your habits. Yes, both good and bad.
All right, guys. Thank you for entertaining my delusions of grandeur.
Glad to do it. Anything else from anyone? Doesn't have to be ChatGPT related. Happy to answer any questions.
Jeff, there is one thing that was very helpful for me because I wanted to know what my clients are or what people are, what they can, when you know, like when they go online, what they're finding about me. So just for fun, I asked GPT, is like, tell me anything about me that I don't know or whatever, and it pulled up all of this information. So now I have to go back and, you know, like it pulls up a lot from your social media. So be careful about what you would post in your social media and your LinkedIn and stuff like that.
You can track yourself and ask ChatGPT to search all of the social media platforms and find any negative things about Don Zimmerman from Utah. And it'll pull up and show you any things that, please don't do that.
Too late.
Everybody's currently typing on their computers. No, that's a great point, Ellen. Thank you. Great thing to do is to have it look at yourself, do an inward dive on who you are. And if a buyer or seller were looking at you as an agent, what are your blind spots? What are things that they would find online? What are things that you can improve on, or what are your strengths and how can you use those better in a value proposition, right? So great ways to use ChatGPT.
But if you find negative things, ChatGPT can't go in and edit those things. Dang it.
No, it cannot censor all of Stephanie's bad words.
And what good is it? What good is it?
Yeah.
Appreciate
y'all being here.
I'm not using it.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate it.
Don't forget to mark the 31st and come to our awards thing. And tomorrow at 11 o'clock, there is a pricing class. So pricing, how to price your listings and those kind of things. That's part of the training from Wally. That's at 11 o'clock tomorrow. If you haven't seen that flyer, it should be in your email. Or soon will be. Maya was going to send that out. And so that class is available tomorrow at 11 a.m. If you're interested in that and haven't got the information, let Don or I know. We'll get it to you or Maya. Any of us will get it.
Is that recorded, Jeff? Because I can't do tomorrow.
It is, yeah, those will be recorded hopefully. So last month's, if you need the link to last month's trainings, I have part 1 and part 2 links. Part 3 didn't record well. And so that's always the caveat, Ellen, is that we try to record them, but sometimes it just doesn't work well. So.
Okay, I will. I'd love to get the recording for tomorrow.
Okay.
So thank you.
All right. Have a great day, guys. Good luck. Go out there and improve your business. That's what this is all about. Don't just come to class, actually do something with it. Have a great day.
Thanks, Jeff.